I need your driver's license.
I'm done answering questions.
All right, sir. I'm going to have you step out of the vehicle for me, sir.
For what purpose?
Step out of the vehicle, sir. I just need to identify you.
But for what purpose?
You're making it harder. All I'm trying to do is...
I'm trying to make it lawful.
All I'm trying to do
What law do you think I broke to pull me over for?
This is articulable reasonable suspicion. You just proved
it. Of what crime? Of what crime? Whoa! Whoa! Simple battery.
I want to show you this police interaction, and I'm thankful that the cop who pulled these white guys over was a person of color, because when power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, and I don't care what your skin color is, I don't care what your culture was, I don't care where you come from, what you were, where you grew up. If you have power, power does something horrible and caustic to the human psyche. And one of those things it does is it blinds your mind to what true justice is, and it makes you think that you are above the law that you're sitting there trying to enforce. See, every man is guilty of all the good he didn't do. And when you don't do good and you justify your evil actions as, well, I'm just trying to enforce the law, I'm just doing my job, I don't make the rules, I just enforce them, then you have basically said then you're willing to do evil if somebody tells you to. And that's why it's so important, not the color of this cop's skin. The only reason I bring it out is because you constantly hear from mainstream media, fake stream CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird media, that what's going on here in the ranks of law enforcement is gross racism. And nothing could be further from the truth. It is tyranny. And remember, a simple definition of tyranny is a man imposing his will on another man who doesn't want his will violated. Rape is a form of tyranny. Theft is a form of tyranny. Murder is a form of tyranny, because one person is seeking power over somebody else to their detriment and that person's benefit. And that's called criminal activity. So watch this. I like how these guys handle this initial confrontation with this badged law enforcer who tries to get these people in this vehicle to ID themselves even though they had done nothing wrong.
Yeah, I was checking out something out on the map.
Okay, all right. You do realize you stopped there, back there?
Yeah, we thought we could get through. Then we saw we couldn't, so we turned around.
All right. You got your driver's license with you?
I do. Am I getting pulled over for something?
Well, you pulled into the water driveway back there.
To turn around.
Yeah, and we're trying to figure out what you were doing. We're trying to identify you.
Is that illegal?
How are you going to figure out why a person was turning around in a driveway by getting that person's ID? How are you going to extract information once you find out who these people are? How is that going to tell you? How is that going to operate as a crystal ball to tell you what their reason was for turning around? That's so stupid. I'm sick of hearing law enforcers say that.
Tell you what I'm doing.
Well, we're trying to identify you.
Okay.
For what?
May I please have your driver's license?
Is that a lawful order?
Yes, sir.
What infraction do you believe I've
committed?
You
pulled over here on the road, and I checked that.
Because I was going to look at the map. I didn't want to get on my cellular device.
Well, that's good.
While I was driving.
Well, that's good. I appreciate it. You have your driver's license?
I have my driver's license with me, but I'm not certain I'm required to give it. Can you state some sort of statute or
yes, sir.
some sort of infraction?
Anytime you're requested by law enforcement to provide driver's license, you have to provide driver's license.
If you've committed some sort of infraction or
you turn
crime.
around back there.
Was that illegal? Was that illegal?
And you pulled in, so we're trying to figure out what
was
you're
that
doing.
illegal?
We were trying to figure out.
I understand that.
We're trying to figure out what you're doing there.
That right there is an attempt to deprive somebody of their rights. Namely, in this situation, depriving somebody of their right to be anonymous, to be secure in their person's houses, papers, and effects. And I will keep saying this until I'm dead. What makes it worse about this whole thing is that this law enforcer swore to protect and defend this person's right to be secure in his person's houses, papers, and effects. And yet he's going to use his authority, deprivation of rights under color of law, 18 U.S.C. 242, and a conspiracy against rights, 241, 18 U.S.C. 241, to deprive this guy of his anonymity under some bogus, well, you got to show me your ID because I'm a law enforcer and you ain't. In other words, I'm above the law. I have a higher claim over your life and property than you. The cop might as well say that. Because I have a higher claim over your life and property than you, you are required to identify yourself to me. Even though you've done nothing wrong, we just have to extract some information out of you.
You're not to figure out what I'm doing, police. You're the law enforcement police.
And that we're trying to figure out. It's suspicious. Right. So we're just trying to...
You're not the figure out what I'm doing police. I love that. By the way, this comes from the channel Rogue Nation. Give him a shout out. He did a fantastic... I don't know which one is Rogue Nation here. I'm not quite Sure, but I've subscribed to their channel. I've hit the bell notification icon. I'll leave the link to this entire interaction so you can watch it, commentary free in the description and in the pinned comment. But let's continue on with this. This is an interesting psychological operation that this cop is trying to foist on these two people in this vehicle.
Figure out what you were doing.
Is one of these cars your supervisor?
Yes, sir, it is.
I'd like to talk to your supervisor,
You're going
please.
to talk to me right now. And do you have your driver's license, sir?
I'm not. I don't think I'm required to give you my driver's license, and I'd like to talk to your supervisor to find out.
Yes, sir. May I please get your driver's license?
I don't believe you're giving me a lawful command, sir.
Yes, I am, sir.
For what purpose do you need my ID? What crime or ordinance do you suspect me to have broken?
Because it was suspicious of you to pull
Suspicious,
into
is
the
that a
and back up
misdemeanor or
and
is that a
pull back
felony?
this way.
Is that a misdemeanor or a felony?
That's articulable reasonable suspicion that you were
Of what
doing
crime?
something. That you were loitering or something like that. Do you have
Do you have evidence?
See, it's got to be, RAS is reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime was committed. How can you suspect that there's a crime if you're using somebody's driveway to do a U-turn? How is that suspecting somebody of a crime? This guy is really, really reaching. And by the way, speaking of reaching, not only is he mentally reaching right here with some mental gymnastics, he's also going to reach his arm inside this guy's vehicle to unlock the door, to open the door up. This guy goes way, way, way beyond his law enforcement boundaries.
I was loitering.
Sir, you pulled in back there, did you not?
I turned around, yeah, because I saw that I couldn't get through.
You couldn't get through. The road was open. I don't know.
Oh, I saw. It looked like there was checkpoints for getting into the prison or something. So we turned around because we didn't think we could get through.
As you can see from our plate, we're not from here, so
I
yeah.
understand that. Do you have your driver's license?
I don't. I'm telling you. Am I lawfully required to give you my ID?
Yes, sir. Yes,
What? For what purposes am I lawfully required?
What I just explained to you, sir.
Suspicion isn't a crime, and I didn't break any
Reasonable
ordinance.
suspicion, yes.
Of
a crime.
Of a crime.
Reasonable suspicion that you turn around back
Can
there
I just
doing
talk to the
something.
supervisor that's back there?
No, sir. I need your driver's license.
He didn't even, this cop didn't even articulate a driving infraction, let alone, never mind the crime level. He didn't even articulate a driving infraction. Doing a U-turn in a driveway is not a driving infraction. He could, and if it was, then he could pull up the Georgia code that states such.
I'm done answering questions.
All right, sir. I'm gonna have you step out of the vehicle for me, sir.
For what purpose?
Look at that. Look at that.
Step out of the vehicle, sir.
Unbelievable.
I just need to identify you.
But
and that's
for what
all-
purpose?
You're making it harder. All I'm trying to do is
I'm trying to make it lawful.
All I'm trying to do
What law do you think I broke to pull me over for?
You were down there. You pulled
I-
into the.
yes,
and
I
I didn't
did.
know what you were doing, right?
I turned around.
That's the
I told you
warden's
what I'm doing.
residence. That's the warden's residence.
turned
State
around.
Property,
I didn't
right?
know whose it was.
It's state property. So I came
So
out
it's
here to
public
identify.
property.
It's state property. Okay.
Public property, then.
That's state property. Okay.
Was
So-
it illegal to turn around on his property?
Well, it's articulably reasonable suspicious that you're performing something
A turnaround
illegal there,
in a
or
vehicle.
you're doing something there when we have other things going on. So if I can, please
I'm
identify
not
you,
from
sir.
this town.
Okay, and that's fine. And all I have to do is identify you. We can get you on your way.
How is identifying me going to tell you what I was doing?
Well, we're making sure that you're not a wanted person. You're somebody that was going to go there and harm the warden or something.
The ID is not
I'm
going to
making
tell you
a
that.
formal request for your supervisor right
Okay,
now.
well that's fine, sir.
If this was true, then any cop could stop any person for any old reason under the sun, and you would never hear the end of it. This is called the advancement in the minds of these law enforcers, the advancement of tyranny. And I like what Jefferson said about something like this. Experience hath shown that even under the best forms of government, those entrusted with power have, in time and by slow operations, perverted it to tyranny. That's what happens when you have a power tripper tripping on his own power, drunk on his own power. Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And you're seeing the tip of the iceberg of that kind of power right now. This cop has to know that he's in the wrong. He has to know he's pushing the envelope and he's taking these people's rights away just because he says so.
Formally making a request right now for your
I'm making a
supervisor.
formal request that you provide your driver's license.
But it's not a lawful request, correct?
It is a lawful
For
request.
what reason do I need
Like
to
I
ID
said,
myself?
articulable reason suspicion.
What is the statute?
361136.
35.3611. What's your statute ID? It says that if you've committed a crime, if you have
Negative.
in the commission of a crime,
Negative.
already
Go ahead,
committed a crime.
Step out for me, sir.
Negative. In other words, I'm above the law. I'm above my statutes. I'm above my ordinances. I'm above the governor's edicts. I'm here operating on my own accord, under my own power, and you're going to comply with me or something bad's going to happen to you.
Go ahead, step out.
I'm trying to get
Step
identified,
back
and I
here.
don't think I
Yeah,
need to.
Step back here.
For what reason?
Step back here.
What
Step
did
back
he
here.
explain? He explained that I turned around in someone's driveway. Yes, I did.
Okay,
I don't know whose driveway was.
Stop and listen. You asked me
Sir.
a question. I'm telling you exactly what I'm
I
doing.
don't. Is it unlawful to turn around in a driveway?
Let me explain to
Go
you.
ahead.
I get where I'm going.
Go ahead.
All right. Currently, there's been events happening there at the prison, correct?
I don't know. I'm from. You can see I'm from
All
Florida.
right, so we're,
Okay. So this is what's going on.
Okay.
There's been events that's happened there at the prison in the last week. All right. So
I didn't
now
know
we
that.
have an incident going on right now.
I didn't know that
Now,
either.
You pulled into the warden's driveway. Now you're leaving.
I pulled
So
into
we
a driveway. I didn't know whose driveway it was. Wasn't posted for trespassing.
if you
I made sure to.
Criminal events that may or may not have happened in the past are completely irrelevant. These are guys who are just pulling out in the driveway. There's no reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime has committed. They know it. The drivers know it. Everybody who's watching this knows it. And this is just a complete overreach and an exercise of power that doesn't need to be happening and makes the world a worse place than it already is.
to your buddy. He can record with both phones, but you're going to step out here and we're going to try to identify him.
Well, how is stepping out going to make me identify?
Because you haven't cooperated. I asked you
Okay,
multiple
so
times.
I'm going to ask
here.
you, sir. You're a supervisor, correct?
Yeah, because we don't cooperate with tyrants. We don't cooperate with terrorists, and we don't cooperate with tyranny.
But is this a lawful request for
Yes.
my ID?
That is correct.
Can you tell me what lawful statute or
Sir,
of what?
Get out.
My wallet's down there, so I can get you my ID from down there.
Can you
I'm
grab
not
your
going to have you
wallet
get
from
it.
right there? Can you grab? I was
I
pointing
can't
at
see
it.
it.
It's right there. That's why I was pointing at it. You think
This is one thing I hate about RAS, reasonable articulable suspicion, because they can fit anything into that horse pill and make it as big as they want it to, and they go, yeah, that's RAS. Just take our word for it. It is RAS, and if you don't step out, we're gonna arrest your ass.
Okay. So I'm going to identify myself.
Let me see your
I'm going to identify myself, but I'm going to make sure to follow through with this because I don't believe it's
by
lawful.
all means, please,
Okay.
sir.
So
I'm
you're-
not telling you. I'm not telling
So
you.
you're
you
right. Just for the record, you're identifying me right now for what purpose?
Like I told you.
Because
you
you're suspicious.
turned
Because I'm
around.
suspicious.
Yes, you turned around. You don't know everything that has happened.
I don't
recently.
know anything that's
Okay,
happened. I'm not
so
from here.
I'm going to explain it to you once I'm able to identify you.
Okay. So you're identifying me.
Here's their argumentation. Here's the cops' argumentation right here. Yes, I did swear an oath to protect your rights, but if something happens, well, then we got to take your rights away. Obviously, if something happens, if you're from out of state and something happened in this area that you're unaware of, well, something happened. Therefore, we have to suspend your constitutional rights. It makes no sense. I wish he would have said, okay, so let me get this straight. Because something happened, let's call it a criminal event or a criminal incident or whatever. Because a criminal event happened apart from me, you're telling me that you're suspending all my constitutional rights that you swore to protect, defend, and uphold. Is that what you're telling me, officer? I doubt he'd answer that question.
For suspicious behavior.
Yes, sir.
And that's not a misdemeanor nor a felony.
It is. It would
nor
be.
have
What-
I committed
what-
a traffic infraction.
We don't know what you're doing. But honestly,
This isn't going to tell you what I'm doing. But
Amen.
sir, just for the record, I have not made a traffic infraction, correct?
sir, you
Is that
pulled-
correct?
You pulled into the water.
Did I
You
make
are
a traffic
articulable-
infraction? Yes or
Sir,
no?
Sir, you pulled into a driveway that does not
Yes, I
belong
did.
to.
He's not going to answer the question. The answer is no, you did not commit a traffic infraction. No, you did not commit a crime. No, I don't have reasonable articulable suspicion that you have or are about to commit a crime. I just want your ID because I'm power tripping. Let's just be honest. That wasn't a chip that was on his shoulder when we walked up to this guy's car. That was a 2x4.
Right?
Yes.
You don't know who it belongs to.
Correct. I was
All
turning
right,
around.
so
It's
I'm
a
coming down
normal
here. I've
practice.
informed you.
Yes.
When I initially informed you, when I asked for your driver's license, you asked for the reason. I informed you whose driveway that was.
Which I asked was that unlawful,
All right.
and you said
Yes,
it's
I'm
state
trying to
property.
I'm trying to figure out because of the
My
events that
ID is going to
occurred.
make it yes or not
Yes, sir.
unlawful.
Yes, sir.
My
Let
ID
me
is going to
see- let me
change
see
whether
your
it's
driver's
lawful or
license.
not. All right.
I'm-
I am handing you my driver's license
Yes,
under
sir.
duress. Under threat of.
okay.
Am I going to get arrested if I don't give you my license?
Sir, you can be charged. I'm just asking for your driver's license.
Am I going to be arrested if I don't give you my
I'm just
driver's
asking
license?
for your driver's license. Yes, sir.
If
you
you're
can be arrested.
If
You
you're
can.
asking for it, I'm going to say no.
You
If
just
you're
said it.
requesting it, requiring it by law,
I am requiring
under
it by law.
threat of arrest, then I will.
I
then
am
will do it.
requiring it by law. Yes, sir.
He actually is not requiring it by law. He's lying. He's way out on a limb. He's gone against even his own code, even against his own ordinances. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to stop this. There's 2 more minutes left on this video right here. I will leave the link to this entire video so you can get it without my commentary in the description and in the pinned comment. The name of the channel is Rogue Nation. Go give him some love. The name of the video is called You're Not the Figure Out What I'm Doing Police. That is true. And you let them know what you think about this interaction right here. Tell them, here's the deal, sent you. And I'll see you guys in the next video.